Hi developers, here we have an array of products. Each product has a name, a type, and a price. And here we are displaying all these products in a page. Now we want to add some filters. For example, we want the user to be able to filter the products based on the type, the minimum price, and the maximum price. One approach is to handle all the filters in a useState hook from React, and then we can use the filter method in order to filter the products based on the current filters, and then we can update the filters whenever the user updates them using the setState. But there is a lot of problems with this approach. For example, if the user refreshes the page by a mistake, all the filters will be reset and the user will lose all the filtered products. And for example, what if the user wanted to share the filtered product with his friends? Well, unfortunately, he cannot do that. So in order to fix all these problems, we have to handle all the filters in the URL, not using the useState hook from React. In this way, all the filters will be stored in the URL. So even if the user refreshes the page, the filters will not be lost. So let's dive into how we can handle the filters in the URL using Next.js. As you can see here, we are using the useState in order to handle the filters. Let's see if that's working on the browser. Let's refresh the page. And as you can see here, we can set the type of the product. We can also set the minimum price, the maximum price, and the products will be filtered according to the filter that the user will put. For example, we can set the type to be watch. We can also set it to be perfume. We can also set the minimum price to be 100, and everything is working as expected. And now let's see how we can handle all the filters in the URL. So first of all, let's get rid of all these states right here. Let's also get rid of the set states right here. We don't need them. Let's also get rid of this one. And now we will get all these values from the URL. And in Next.js 13 and 14, we will get the searchParams and the params as a parameters right here. So let's pass the type of the params and the searchParams. So the params will be an object with the slug as a property and it'll be string, and the searchParams will be an object with a string or an array of string or undefined. So now let's get the type from this. So now let's get the type from the searchParams. So we can say searchParams.type. We can also get or we want to pass a default type. If the URL does not include any type, we can say product types dot perfume, for example, and this will be the default type. We can also get the minimum price. It'll be searchParams.min price. Let's put the question mark here. And we will also get the max price. It'll be searchParams.max price. And now let's build the function that we will use in order to filter our products. So let's call it filter products. We will get the product here as an argument. And we want the type of the product to be as the type defined in the searchParams. Let's define the TypeScript type of the product right here. If you don't use TypeScript, you don't have to worry about that. Let's call it product. And it will have a name which is a string. Let's put the equal sign right here. We'll also have a type which is product types and a price which is a number. Also, let's define the TypeScript type right here. It will be an array of product. This is just to ensure the type safety. So the product will be the type of the product right here. And we want the type of the product to be the same as the type defined in the URL. We also want the price to be less or equal than the maximum price defined in the URL. And let's convert the max price to a number in order to be able to compare it with the price of the product. And here we also want the price to be greater or equal than the min price defined in the URL. Let's also convert the min price to number. And after we have built the filter product function, all we have to do is to pass the new function right here. Let's save that. And now all we have to do is to push the user to a new URL whenever he updates a filter. So first let's define the router, since we will use it in order to push the user to a new URL. Let's say user router. Let's make sure to import it from next/navigation, not next/router. Let's click on that. Let's invoke it right here. And now whenever the type of the product changes, so we can say on chain, we want to push the user to a new URL. So we should say router.push. Here let's put / in order to put the queries. And here let's define a new URL, searchParams, in order to be able to put our searchParams in an object. And first we want to add our current filters in order to not reset them. So let's put the min price. It'll be min price as string. And we should also put the max price as a So it should be max price as string. And now let's put the type, which will be event.target.value. Let's make sure to take the event from here. So here all we have done is that we have grabbed the new type that the user have changed and we passed it into these queries. And here we have passed these parameters in order to not lose them when we push the user to a new URL. So now we want to string the search params here in order to convert them into a URL string. So we should say .string and let's invoke this function. So let's do the same thing for the minimum price and the maximum price. So for the minimum price, we should say on change, and here we want to push the user to a new URL when the min price changes. Here we should push the user to /, and now we want to pass our current query. So the max price will be max price as string. Let's correct the syntax right here. Let's put new URL search params. Let's wrap the object right here around the parentheses. Let's also put the curly braces. Now let's put the type, which will be type as string. And now the min price will be taken from the event. So the min price will be event.target.value or 0, because sometimes the input of the number gets empty, so we don't want to pass undefined when the user clears the input. So let's do the same thing for the max price. Let's copy that because most of the logic will be the same. Let's go here, let's paste that, and here we want to pass the min price. It'll be min price, which is the current min price that we have in the URL. The type will stay the same, and the max price will be event.target.value or 400. Let's put 0 right here. Let's save that. Let's make sure to pass a default min price, which will be 0 by default. So if the URL does not include any min price, it'll be 0 by default. And let's also pass the default max price as a 400. Let's pass 400 right here. Let's save that. Now let's go back to the browser. Let's refresh the page. And as you can see here, the default min price is 0. The default max price is 400. And here, as you can see, we can filter our products based on the type. So let's put watch here. And as you can see here, we got all the filters in the URL. We got the min price, the max price, and the type. Let's put the min price, for example, to be 200. And here, as you can see here, the minimum price is 200. For example, if you want the max price to be 300, we can set that. Let's say 300. And here, even if we refresh the page, as you can see here, the filter does not reset. We still have the min price as 200, the max price as 300, and the type as perfect. Now let's say that you are working on a client components and you don't want to get the search params as an argument right here. Well, one way to get the search params is by using the use searchParams hook from next. So let's get rid of that. We don't need to get the search params from the arguments right here. Let's make sure to put the use client here because the use search params does not work on server components. And here let's get the search params from the use search params. And here, when you want to get a value from the use search params hook, all you have to do is to use the get method from. So here you can say .get type. Here you can say searchParams.get min price. And here you can say .get max price. Let's save that. Let's make sure that everything is working as expected. Let's refresh the page. And as you can see here, we can successfully filter the products without any issues. In the end of the video, I want to point out that not every state should be handled in the URL. Some states needs to be handled using the useState hook from React. For example, if you have a counter, a calculator, and so on. So you should always ask yourself if it is better to keep the states when the user shares the URL. So that is the end of today's video. If you get some value from this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are interested about Next.js and React.js topics, and see you in the next video.